A journey into Florida's most haunted park. Welcome, seekers of the strange and unexplained, to Whispers Beyond the Veil, your go-to destination for spine-tingling tales, eerie encounters, and deep dives into the haunted corners of our world. Your guide through the shadows, and today we're venturing into one of the most chilling locations in the Sunshine State, a park steeped in history, tragedy, and whispers of the supernatural. Nestled amidst Florida's lush landscapes and vibrant ecosystems lies a place where beauty masks a dark underbelly, where echoes of the past refuse to fade, and where visitors often leave with more than just memories of scenic trails and picnic spots. This is no ordinary park. It is said to be one of the most haunted places in Florida, a site where the boundary between the living and the dead grows perilously thin. If you're new here, welcome to a community that thrives on curiosity and courage. We don't just tell stories, we immerse ourselves in them, blending historical research, eyewitness accounts, and a healthy dose of imagination to create an experience that feels as real as it is unsettling. Whether you're a skeptic searching for rational explanations or a believer eager to hear tales that will leave you questioning what lies beyond, this channel is crafted with you in mind. Our goal is simple: to explore the mysteries of the unknown while keeping our wits and flashlights close at hand. Today's focus is a park unlike any other, a place where the air seems heavier, the shadows longer, and the silence deafening. From ghostly apparitions to inexplicable phenomena, this location has earned its reputation as a magnet for the macabre. But before we descend into the darkness, let me share a word of caution. What you're about to hear may linger with you long after the video ends. So grab your favorite blanket, dim the lights, and prepare to confront the unknown. Are you ready? Let's begin. Echoes of the past, the haunted history of Florida's most enigmatic park. Nestled within the verdant embrace of Florida's diverse wilderness, this park stands as a silent sentinel to centuries of human endeavor, conflict, and sorrow. Its origins trace back to the indigenous tribes who first called this land home, their lives intertwined with the natural rhythms of the environment. These early inhabitants revered the area as sacred, a place where the spirits of nature and ancestors walked hand in hand. However, the tranquility of these ancient peoples was shattered with the arrival of European settlers, setting the stage for a tumultuous saga that would etch deep scars into the landscape. The 19th century heralded a period of transformation as the park's fertile grounds became the backdrop for burgeoning agricultural activities. Plantations sprouted amidst the wilds, bringing with them not only prosperity but also the harrowing realities of slavery. The cries of the oppressed echoed through the trees, their spirits said to still wander the paths seeking solace and justice. Historical records from this era paint a grim picture of hardship and exploitation, laying a foundation of anguish that would permeate the park's very soil. As decades rolled on, the park witnessed further turmoil during the Civil War, serving as both refuge and battleground. Skirmishes erupted sporadically, leaving behind a trail of bloodshed and broken dreams. Tales of soldiers ambushed and left to perish in the dense underbrush add layers of somber history to the park's narrative. Each conflict, each life lost, seemed to embed itself deeper into the fabric of the land, creating an atmosphere pregnant with unrest. Transitioning into the 20th century, efforts were made to preserve the park's natural beauty and historical significance. It was officially designated as a protected area, opening its gates to tourists and locals alike. Yet, beneath the veneer of conservation and recreation lurked an undercurrent of spectral activity. Visitors began reporting eerie occurrences, phantom whispers rustling through the leaves, shadowy figures flitting across moonlit clearings, and an oppressive sense of being watched. These accounts, initially dismissed as mere folklore, gained credence as similar stories emerged from disparate sources over the years. The park's reputation as a haunted locale solidified when paranormal investigators took note. Teams equipped with modern technology ventured into its depths, capturing chilling evidence that defied conventional explanation. Thermal cameras revealed cold spots hovering inexplicably in balmy conditions, while audio recordings captured disembodied voices recounting tales of old. These findings thrust the park into the limelight, drawing thrill-seekers and skeptics eager to test the limits of reality. Yet, despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted allure, the park remains a paradox. By day, it is a sanctuary of serenity, offering respite to those who seek communion with nature. But as twilight descends and shadows lengthen, it transforms into a realm of mystery and dread, challenging the brave to uncover its secrets. This duality makes it not only a place of haunting beauty but also a focal point for those captivated by the enigmatic dance between history and hauntings. As we peel back the layers of its storied past, we find ourselves drawn deeper into the shadows, where the line between fact and folklore blurs and the echoes of the past refuse to be silenced. The paranormal phenomena that define Florida's most haunted park. Within the seemingly serene confines of this park lies a tapestry of supernatural phenomena so vivid and persistent that it has become the stuff of legend. Visitors and staff alike have reported experiences that defy logic, leaving even the most hardened skeptics questioning the boundaries of reality. Among the most frequently cited occurrences are the apparitions that materialize without warning, their ethereal forms gliding silently through the dense foliage or lingering near historic landmarks. One such figure, known locally as the Lady in Grey, is said to wander the park's oldest trails, her translucent form clad in tattered garments reminiscent of the Civil War era. Witnesses describe her mournful gaze and the faint scent of lavender that accompanies her presence, lending an eerie familiarity to her otherwise ghostly appearance. Her identity remains a mystery, though some speculate she may be the spirit of a woman who perished during one of the skirmishes that once scarred these grounds. Auditory anomalies abound, adding another layer of terror to the park's haunted reputation. Disembodied voices echo through the trees, their origins impossible to pinpoint. Some claim to hear hushed conversations in languages they cannot understand, while others report blood-curdling screams that seem to emanate from nowhere yet reverberate with bone-chilling clarity. The sound of footsteps crunching on gravel paths, even when no one is visible, has become a hallmark of nocturnal visits. Equally unnerving are the inexplicable whispers that brush against the ears of those who dare to venture too far off the beaten trail. These auditory disturbances are often accompanied by sudden drops in temperature, creating icy voids that starkly contrast with Florida's humid climate. Cold spots, as they are commonly referred to, are said to hover near specific locations, clearings, bridges, and abandoned structures, where tragedy is believed to have occurred. Physical manifestations further amplify the park's spectral mystique. Objects have been known to move inexplicably, sometimes shifting positions entirely or toppling over without any discernible cause. Picnic tables rearrange themselves overnight, lanterns swing wildly despite the absence of wind, and personal belongings vanish only to reappear hours later in places untouched by human hands. Several visitors have captured photographs showing orbs of light hovering in shadowy corners or streaks of distortion cutting across otherwise clear images. While skeptics might dismiss such evidence as lens flares or dust particles, the sheer volume of similar reports makes it difficult to ignore the possibility of something more sinister at play. Eyewitness accounts provide some of the most compelling insights into the park's paranormal activity. Take, for instance, the testimony of Sarah M., a local historian who spent hours cataloging artifacts within the park's visitor center. She recalls feeling an overwhelming sense of dread upon entering a specific room, later discovering that it was the same space where multiple settlers had reportedly died during a cholera outbreak in the late 1800s. "I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched," she confided. "Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a shadow dart across the wall. When I turned to look, there was nothing there." Others, like James T., a paranormal investigator, describe encountering aggressive entities during overnight stays. He recounts how his equipment inexplicably malfunctioned, batteries drained within minutes, and his team experienced sudden waves of nausea and dizziness. "It felt like something didn't want us there," he admitted, "and it wasn't shy about letting us know." These first-hand experiences paint a vivid portrait of a place teeming with supernatural activity, where the veil between the living and the dead appears perilously thin. Each account adds another thread to the tangled tapestry of fear and fascination surrounding this haunted landmark. Whether viewed through the lens of scientific inquiry or supernatural belief, the phenomena reported here defy easy dismissal. They invite us to consider the possibility that the past does not simply vanish, it lingers, waiting for those brave enough to listen to its ghostly whispers. The investigators' chronicles, Unraveling the mysteries of Florida's most haunted park. The whispered legends and chilling phenomena associated with this haunted park have inevitably drawn the attention of paranormal investigators, professionals armed with gadgets, theories, and an insatiable curiosity about the unknown. Their expeditions into the heart of this alleged supernatural hotspot have yielded both compelling evidence and frustrating ambiguity, fueling debates among skeptics and believers alike. For every piece of data captured during these investigations, there exists a counterargument rooted in science or psychology. Yet, the sheer persistence of the phenomena continues to draw researchers back, determined to unravel the mysteries shrouding this haunted landmark. One of the earliest documented investigations dates back to the late 1970s, conducted by a small team from the Florida Paranormal Research Society. Equipped with rudimentary tools like audio recorders and thermal cameras, they ventured into the park under the cover of night. Their findings were startling: disembodied voices captured on tape, temperature fluctuations inconsistent with external conditions, and electromagnetic field spikes that defied logical explanation. While critics argued that these results could be attributed to environmental factors or faulty equipment, the investigators insisted they had witnessed events that transcended natural causes. One member recounted hearing a distinct male voice whisper, "Leave now," moments before their flashlight inexplicably died, plunging them into darkness. More recently, high-profile paranormal teams have descended upon the park, bringing with them advanced technology designed to detect even the subtlest anomalies. In 2019, the renowned group Spectral Seekers conducted a week-long investigation, streaming portions live for thousands of viewers worldwide. Using devices like spirit boxes, tools purported to facilitate communication with the dead, they claimed to establish contact with several entities. One exchange, captured on camera, featured a voice responding to direct questions about its identity, stating, "I'm still here, trapped." Thermal imaging footage from the same session revealed what appeared to be humanoid shapes moving through walls, though skeptics pointed out potential flaws in calibration and interpretation. Despite these criticisms, the footage remains a cornerstone of arguments supporting the park's haunted status. Local authorities, however, approach the subject with measured skepticism. Rangers assigned to patrol the area admit to receiving numerous calls reporting strange lights, noises, and shadowy figures near the park's historic sites. While they attribute many incidents to pranksters or misidentified wildlife, some remain uneasy about certain cases. Ranger Lisa Harper recalled responding to a disturbance call in which witnesses described seeing a man in period clothing standing on a bridge, gazing out over the water. Upon arrival, officers found no one present, nor any signs of forced entry. "You try to explain it away," she said, "but sometimes logic just doesn't fit." Scientific scrutiny has further complicated the narrative. Researchers from the University of Florida conducted a controlled study in 2021, analyzing soil samples, structural integrity, and atmospheric conditions within the park. Their conclusion? Many reported phenomena could stem from environmental influences, such as mineral deposits affecting EMF readings or drafts causing temperature shifts. However, they acknowledged anomalies that resisted conventional explanation, urging further interdisciplinary research. Dr. Emily Carter, lead investigator, noted, "We can account for much of what people experience here, but not everything. That gap leaves room for wonder, or something else." Public interest shows no signs of waning. Social media platforms buzz with amateur videos and photos taken by thrill seekers daring to explore the park after dark. Some claim to have captured undeniable proof of paranormal activity, while others walk away disappointed or terrified. Regardless of individual outcomes, the collective fascination underscores humanity's enduring desire to confront the unknown. As investigators continue to probe the depths of this haunted park, the question persists: are we witnessing genuine supernatural occurrences, or are we projecting our fears onto a place steeped in tragedy? Either way, the answers, if they exist, remain tantalizingly out of reach. Theories behind Florida's haunted park. The persistent supernatural activity reported at this haunted park has sparked a myriad of theories, each attempting to explain why the spirits of the past refuse to find peace. Among the most compelling is the idea of unresolved trauma. Historically, the park has been a theater for violence, loss, and betrayal, a crucible of human suffering that may have left indelible imprints on its very fabric. The violent skirmishes that claimed countless lives, the unsolved disappearances of settlers, and the hardships endured by indigenous tribes who once called this land sacred all contribute to a legacy of anguish. Psychical researchers posit that intense emotions, especially those tied to sudden or tragic deaths, can become trapped in the environment, creating residual hauntings. In this context, the apparitions and auditory phenomena might not represent sentient beings but rather echoes of the past, replaying fragments of events long extinguished. Another theory centers on the concept of geopathic stress, a phenomenon where natural energies emanating from the Earth disrupt human well-being. Proponents argue that the park's location atop intersecting fault lines or mineral-rich deposits could amplify negative energies, making it a magnet for paranormal activity. Geologists have identified significant limestone formations beneath the park, which some believe could act as conduits for electromagnetic disturbances. Combined with Florida's humid climate and frequent storms, these geological factors might create conditions conducive to heightened supernatural manifestations. Critics dismiss this notion as pseudoscience, yet the correlation between geology and reported hauntings at other sites worldwide lends it a degree of credibility worth exploring. Cultural beliefs also play a pivotal role in shaping perceptions of the park's haunting. Indigenous tribes native to the region have long regarded certain locations as sacred or cursed, imbued with spiritual significance that predates European settlement. Oral traditions speak of ancestral spirits bound to specific territories, unable to transition due to desecration or dishonor. Local historians suggest that the land upon which the park stands may once have been a ceremonial ground or burial site, unknowingly disturbed during construction. If true, this would align with Native American cosmologies that emphasize balance and respect for the dead. To disrespect such spaces is to invite chaos, a belief echoed in the eerie events unfolding within the park's boundaries. Psychological elements further complicate the narrative. The power of suggestion, coupled with the human brain's tendency to seek patterns and randomness, can transform ordinary occurrences into extraordinary ones. Visitors primed by ghost stories or influenced by the ominous ambience may unconsciously interpret ambiguous stimuli, like creaking branches or shifting shadows, as evidence of the supernatural. Cognitive biases such as pareidolia, the propensity to perceive meaningful shapes and random visual data, could explain sightings of ghostly figures or faces in photographs. Similarly, sleep deprivation and sensory deprivation during overnight investigations heighten susceptibility to hallucinations, potentially accounting for some of the more dramatic encounters reported. Yet, even as these explanations offer plausible frameworks, they fail to fully encapsulate the depth and consistency of the phenomena observed. Could it be that the haunting arises from a confluence of factors, an interplay between unresolved trauma, geophysical anomalies, cultural reverence, and psychological predisposition? Or does the answer lie beyond current understanding, hinting at dimensions yet uncharted? Whatever the truth, the enigma endures, drawing us deeper into the labyrinthine complexities of this haunted place. As theories collide and overlap, one thing remains clear: the restless spirits of Florida's past continue to challenge the boundaries of what we deem possible. The human cost of encounters with the supernatural. While the ghostly legends and chilling phenomena associated with this haunted park captivate imaginations, they also cast a long shadow over those who dare to cross its threshold. For many, an encounter with the supernatural is not merely a fleeting brush with the unknown, it is a life-altering event that reshapes their perception of reality and leaves scars far deeper than any physical wound. The stories of individuals who have interacted with the spirits haunting this site reveal a spectrum of consequences, ranging from profound psychological distress to irreversible changes in worldview. Take, for example, the harrowing account of Jessica R., a freelance journalist who visited the park in 2016 to gather material for a feature article. Initially skeptical, she approached the investigation with clinical detachment, armed with recording equipment and a checklist of questions. Her demeanor shifted dramatically after spending just one night inside the park. According to her written testimony, she awoke in the early hours to find herself paralyzed, unable to scream as a dark figure loomed over her sleeping bag. Though the paralysis eventually subsided, the experience left her plagued by recurring nightmares and debilitating anxiety. "I used to think ghosts were a construct of fear," she wrote months later. "But now I know they're real, and they're watching." Diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, Jessica abandoned her career in journalism, unable to reconcile her newfound beliefs with the demands of objective reporting. Equally unsettling is the case of Marcus L., a former park ranger assigned to patrol the grounds surrounding the park's historic sites. Tasked with deterring trespassers, he instead became a reluctant participant in the park's spectral drama. Over time, Marcus reported hearing whispered threats directed at him personally, culminating in an incident where he allegedly saw his own reflection in a pond, only to realize it was smiling while he was not. The breaking point came when he discovered cryptic messages scrawled on park benches in handwriting eerily similar to his own, despite having no memory of writing them. Convinced he was losing his mind, Marcus resigned from his position and sought psychiatric help. Even years later, he avoids discussing the experience publicly, citing ongoing struggles with paranoia and depression. The ripple effects extend beyond individuals to entire families, as seen in the story of the Thompsons, a tight-knit clan who embarked on what they thought would be a harmless weekend adventure. During their visit, 10-year-old Emily Thompson claimed to see a sad lady beckoning her toward a locked gate. Though her parents dismissed it as childish imagination, Emily grew increasingly withdrawn in the weeks that followed, speaking only to insist the woman wanted her to come back. Desperate for answers, the family consulted mediums and therapists alike, ultimately relocating to another state in hopes of escaping whatever force seemed to have attached itself to their daughter. Despite their efforts, Emily's behavior remained erratic, straining familial bonds and leaving her parents grappling with guilt and uncertainty. Even seasoned paranormal investigators are not immune to the emotional toll exacted by prolonged exposure to such environments. Members of the Florida Paranormal Research Society, FPRS, openly acknowledge the strain their work places on mental health. Veteran investigator Tom W. confessed in a podcast interview that repeated encounters with aggressive entities had led to chronic insomnia and bouts of severe depression. "You start questioning everything," he admitted. "Is it really there, or am I imagining it? Am I safe, or am I losing my grip?" Such existential crises underscore the fragile boundary between fascination and obsession, where the pursuit of truth risks consuming those who seek it. These personal narratives serve as sobering reminders of the weight carried by those touched by the supernatural. While society often romanticizes ghost stories as thrilling escapades, the lived experiences of these individuals reveal a darker truth. Interacting with forces beyond comprehension can exact a heavy price. It is a cost measured not in dollars or fame but in fractured psyches, broken relationships, and lingering doubts about the nature of existence itself. As we marvel at the mysteries housed within this haunted park, let us also honor the courage of those who have faced its terrors, and bear witness to the indelible marks it leaves behind. Analyzing evidence and debunking myths in the realm of the paranormal, distinguishing between credible evidence and sensationalized myth is a daunting task, one that requires both critical thinking and an open mind. At this haunted park in Florida, the convergence of historical anecdotes, eyewitness accounts, and technological data creates a complex tapestry of information that demands careful scrutiny. While some phenomena resist easy explanation, others crumble under the weight of rational analysis, reminding us that not every shadow harbors a ghost, nor does every creak signify a spectral presence. Consider the widely circulated claim of the Lady in Grey, whose ethereal form is said to haunt the park's oldest trails. Eyewitnesses describe her as a benevolent yet mournful figure, often accompanied by the faint scent of lavender. On the surface, the consistency of these descriptions lends credence to the legend. However, skeptics point to potential psychological factors at play. The phenomenon known as pareidolia, the brain's tendency to perceive familiar patterns in random stimuli, could explain why so many visitors report seeing a humanoid shape. Similarly, the association of lavender with comfort or mourning might prime witnesses to interpret unrelated scents through a supernatural lens. Without verifiable documentation, such as clear photographic or video evidence corroborated by multiple independent sources, the Lady in Grey remains an intriguing possibility rather than an irrefutable fact. Technological advancements have introduced new tools to the investigation process, but their reliability is often overstated. Devices like EMF meters and spirit boxes, while fascinating, are not foolproof indicators of paranormal activity. For instance, the electromagnetic spikes recorded during numerous investigations could stem from nearby power lines, underground cables, or even the investigators' own equipment generating interference. Likewise, responses captured via spirit boxes are notoriously ambiguous, often requiring subjective interpretation to align with preconceived notions of ghostly communication. While these tools provide valuable data points, they must be contextualized within broader environmental and situational analyses to avoid jumping to conclusions. Media portrayals further complicate matters, amplifying certain aspects of the haunting while downplaying others. Television shows and viral videos tend to highlight dramatic encounters, doors slamming shut, objects flying across rooms, or chilling EVP, electronic voice phenomena, recordings, while glossing over mundane explanations. This selective storytelling perpetuates misconceptions about the park, fostering a culture of fear and fascination that may overshadow genuine inquiry. For example, the infamous shadow figure on the bridge, reported by Ranger Lisa Harper, has been immortalized in countless retellings, yet closer examination reveals inconsistencies in witness testimonies and insufficient corroboration. Was it truly a specter, or could it have been a trick of light, a silhouette created by architectural features, or even a staged hoax? Local folklore also plays a significant role in shaping public perception. Tales passed down through generations often blur the line between historical accuracy and embellishment, creating myths that are difficult to disentangle from reality. The belief that the park rests atop ancient ceremonial grounds, for instance, lacks definitive archaeological evidence, relying instead on speculative connections to indigenous oral traditions. While such narratives enrich the cultural significance of the location, they should not be mistaken for empirical proof of supernatural activity. Instead, they highlight the human need to impose meaning on the inexplicable, weaving stories that resonate emotionally even if they lack factual basis. Ultimately, the challenge lies in balancing skepticism with curiosity. By applying rigorous standards of evidence, and remaining vigilant against confirmation bias, we can sift through the noise to identify phenomena worthy of further exploration. This does not diminish the value of personal experiences. Rather, it acknowledges that subjective accounts, while powerful, must be weighed alongside objective data. As we continue to investigate this haunted park, let us embrace the complexity of its mysteries, recognizing that the search for truth is rarely straightforward, but always worthwhile. Why we are drawn to the darkness? Why do we, as humans, feel an almost magnetic pull toward the unknown, gravitating toward places steeped in mystery and fear? The allure of the haunted and the supernatural taps into something primal within us, a paradoxical blend of terror and fascination that transcends culture, geography, and time. At its core, this attraction stems from our innate desire to confront the boundaries of what we know, to peer into the abyss and ask, what lies beyond? The haunted park in Florida embodies this tension perfectly, offering a tangible intersection of history, emotion, and the inexplicable that invites us to grapple with questions larger than ourselves. Fear, often dismissed as a purely negative emotion, serves a dual purpose in our relationship with the supernatural. It acts as both a deterrent and a catalyst, warning us of danger while simultaneously igniting our curiosity. Evolutionary psychologists argue that fear has historically been a survival mechanism, sharpening our senses and preparing us to face threats. Yet, in modern contexts where physical survival is less precarious, fear transforms into a vehicle for exploration. The adrenaline rush triggered by stepping into a reportedly haunted park, or hearing a ghostly whisper in the dark, mirrors the thrill of riding a roller coaster or watching a horror film. We crave these controlled doses of fear because they allow us to flirt with mortality and chaos without truly risking our safety. In doing so, we gain a sense of mastery over the unknown, however fleeting it may be, but the appeal of haunted places extends beyond mere thrills. These sites serve as repositories of collective memory, preserving stories of human struggle, resilience, and impermanence. The park in Florida, with its layers of tragedy and triumph, becomes more than just a recreational area. It becomes a mirror reflecting universal themes of loss, longing, and redemption. By engaging with its legends, we engage with our own humanity, confronting existential questions about life, death, and what might come after. Is it any wonder, then, that we flock to such locations, seeking connection not only with the spirits said to inhabit them but also with the shared experiences that bind us across generations? Moreover, the supernatural offers a reprieve from the rigid confines of logic and reason. In a world increasingly dominated by science and technology, where every mystery seems destined to be unraveled, the possibility of the unexplainable provides a comforting counterbalance. Ghosts, spirits, and otherworldly entities remind us that not everything can, or should, be quantified. They challenge the limits of human understanding, inviting us to embrace ambiguity and wonder. This duality, the coexistence of skepticism and belief, is what makes haunted places so compelling. They occupy a liminal space where fact and fiction blur, allowing us to entertain possibilities that stretch the boundaries of our worldview. Finally, there is an undeniable allure in the act of bearing witness. Whether as investigators, storytellers, or casual visitors, we are drawn to haunted parks because they offer the chance to participate in something greater than ourselves. To stand in a clearing where others claim to have seen apparitions, to hear the faint echo of footsteps where none should be, is to momentarily step outside the ordinary and glimpse a fragment of eternity. It is a reminder that history is alive, that the past continues to breathe through the cracks of the present, and that the stories we tell are threads woven into a vast, interconnected tapestry. So, as we turn our gaze toward the shadows of Florida's most haunted park, let us not shy away from the questions it raises or the emotions it stirs. Instead, let us embrace the complexity of our fascination, acknowledging that it is through these encounters with the unknown that we come closest to understanding ourselves. After all, the greatest mysteries are not those that haunt old buildings or deserted corridors. They are the ones that reside within us, waiting to be uncovered. Reflections on our journey into the shadows. As we bring this chilling exploration to a close, I want to take a moment to thank each of you for joining me on this journey into the haunted heart of Florida. Whether you're a long-time subscriber or a newcomer to Whispers Beyond the Veil, your curiosity and courage make this channel what it is, a community united by a shared love of the mysterious, the macabre, and the unexplained. Together, we've peeled back the layers of one of the most haunted parks in the Sunshine State, delving into its rich history, its spectral inhabitants, and the profound impact it has had on those who dare to cross its threshold. From the chilling tales of ghostly apparitions to the scientific debates surrounding its phenomena, this park has proven itself to be far more than just a scenic retreat. It is a living, breathing enigma that continues to captivate and terrify. If this episode has sparked your interest, I encourage you to dive deeper. Explore the links in the description for additional resources, including interviews with paranormal investigators, historical documents, and eyewitness accounts that didn't make it into today's video. And if you're feeling brave, consider visiting the park yourself, but tread carefully, and remember to respect the stories and spirits that linger within its boundaries. For those eager to keep the conversation going, head over to the comments section below. Share your thoughts, your own ghostly encounters, or even your theories about what might truly haunt this legendary location. Your stories are what keep this channel alive, and I cherish every contribution you bring to our growing tapestry of tales. Before we part ways, I'd like to leave you with a final thought. The supernatural is not merely something to fear, it is something to explore, to question, and to embrace. It reminds us of the fragility of life, the weight of history, and the infinite possibilities that lie beyond the edges of our understanding. So, whether you're a believer, a skeptic, or somewhere in between, never stop seeking the truth. There are countless places like this one, waiting to share their secrets with those willing to listen. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and remember, the shadows are always watching. Good night, and thank you for being here.